Hey, recently I was at a shoot in Knob Creek with a couple people, and one of them is a buddy of mine, and he's in the process of moving. And he was telling me that he had bought a bunch of 32 Smith & Wesson long, and I'm like, why would you buy 32 Smith & Wesson long? He said, well, I had a bunch of British revolvers, and I thought they were 32 Smith & Wesson long. I think they're 32 Smith & Wesson. So needless to say, he has like 1,000 rounds of this that he spent a lot of money on. And didn't have a gun. So while we're at Knob Creek, he saw this. This is an H&R 733. Well, he doesn't have his FFL right now because he's in the middle of moving. So I bought it on my FFL, and I'm holding it till he gets an FFL I can transfer it to where he's moving to. So we're going to do a little video on it. We're not going to do a close-up on it because it's such a piece of crap. It's not worth doing a close-up on it. But one of the things I find extremely interesting is, to me, H&Rs were always the 1930s, 1920s. Their 32s were nickel-plated. The nickeling was always peeling off. The triggers were terrible. Blah 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 blah. And they have terrible ergonomics. And then there was the H&R 22s, which were extremely popular, like the 9-shot trapper. So I'm figuring this gun is from the 30s, and when I looked at it, I know this will be hard to pick up, but back in here it has what they call a transfer bar. Transfer bars didn't come about until after the Second World War. I think the Rugers was one of the first people to use the transfer bar, and that was in the 80s, 70s and 80s. So this gun is probably from the 70s and 80s, not from that time period. And I don't know who owned H&R at this time. It says Gardner, Massachusetts, but it's a model 733, and it's all in stainless with little black grips. And let's go shoot it.
Maybe. There we go. I don't have enough thumb strength to do this.
Here, watch.
What?
Go ahead, shoot. Leave this hand here. Reach over with this thumb and pull back. There you go. Now move the thumb out of the way. Over, thumb back down, there you go.
Okay.
You just saw me, Shannon, and Nick. Great English there. Shannon, Nick, and I. My English teacher will be happier that way. Shoot this little beast here. Nick and I are here to talk about it. This is Nick was kind enough to get a box and open it up and show you a 32 Smith & Wesson long. Really impressive round, huh? I feel like I should be back in 1905 Chicago. Yeah, shooting them dirty coppers with it. What did you think?
You know, I'm not the biggest fan of revolvers for carry purposes. I think they're amazing, cool, and fascinating firearms to begin with, but I would never carry one. I would probably carry a piece of burnt wood over this because it feels like it is currently trying to jam and rip my middle finger off right underneath the trigger guard. Every time I shoot it, it digs in right there because, you know, reach in, grab, get a nice firm grip, but it feels like it's trying to break my finger off. The hammer feels way too heavy for what it really needs to be, so somebody like, as you saw in the video of shooting, my mother was having quite the issue of getting that hammer back and firing the weapon. The sights are, when the hammer is back, are completely obstructed, or when the hammer's forward, it's completely obstructed, and then when you actually go to use the sights, they are junk. There's really no indication other than a very slight rib and a rounded off piece of stainless that is hard to pick up with your eyes. Having to pull this bar out and rotate the entire cylinder out is a little clunky. In case you haven't noticed, I really don't like this gun. It doesn't want to fully seat in when you just lock it in. You have to seat and just kind of wiggle it for it to seat. It's small, it's clunky, I don't like it, but it's something that shoots 32 Smith & Wesson long, so if you're like his buddy who bought 1,000 rounds of it, thinking it was something else, I guess you need something to shoot.
Build quality is not bad. I mean, it's nice, heavily machined piece of stainless steel. It's almost like, and I don't know anything about H&Rs, and of course the H&R that exists now, it has nothing to do with this company, it's just a name. It's like they came up with a design that they didn't have to pay anybody any rights on. In other words, I don't know who invented the transfer bar, I don't know if it was them or Ruger, whoever, but the locking mechanism on the cylinder, I mean, everybody's moved by this kind of locking mechanism in the early 1900s. The grip, unless you've got pinkies the size, big fingers the size of the pinkies, is not going to be comfortable. I simply don't understand, for what it cost to make an all stainless steel gun in the 80s when this gun was, or the 70s or 80s when this gun was made, why they wouldn't take the time to make it a little better. I mean, the machining's not bad. It actually, I don't have any trouble hitting with it. The best part about it is shooting it, because this round has zero recoil, so at the distances we were shooting I could hit every shot, but I was constantly readjusting my grip because the grip's too small, and the sights are terrible. I could see a reason for this gun in the 1930s. I can't understand why this gun was still being made in the 1980s, especially in that caliber, which is outrageously expensive. I'm going to thank you for coming to the channel to see something you will never ever see again on the channel, because I would never ever buy a gun like this for me. But as I said, my buddy wanted to, so it's in my inventory, so he said go ahead and make a video of it. He's going to be heartbroken when he sees how hard we slammed it. But thanks for coming to the channel. If you have an H&R, I'm sorry. I hardly ever say that, but that would be a good gun to sell. Except maybe the little 22s, they weren't bad. The old top rate 22 trappers. I know that's way before his time, he won't know. Thanks again.